Hi, good evening, everybody. It's Andrew Whitfield from How to Sell Online coming out to you. And I'm this time coming out to you from France. So we're having a little bit of a working couple of weeks away in France, getting on with some real work, which all that's going to do is help you guys in making your businesses grow. So normal rules apply. You will see the chat box on the right hand side of your screen, and if you want to send any messages in, then you can do that and I'll come back to you with any replies. Okay, how to set up an auction on eBay online. The first thing you've got to do, guys, is you've got to research the saleability of your product very, very thoroughly. And when I say that, you've got to get to the bare bones of absolutely everything about your product. One of the big mistakes a lot of people make, and we see it on a regular basis, and I've shown some of you before, those that have attended any of the seminars, how people do it wrong and they just don't make money. And the forums are filled with people not making money. But guess what, guys? All they're doing is not doing the research to actually sell their products. So this is what you need to do. So this being week 2, this is where we need to do. So check out other eBay listings, whether it's in the UK, whether it's Europe, whether it's Australia, whether it's America, wherever your marketplace is. Check out other eBay listings for the same or similar products. Now, it's very easy to do. You just go to eBay in the relevant country, type in the titles that you believe at that time will be correct for the item, so the keywords, and you know where I come from on keywords, and see what comes up and have a look at it and just go through the whole process of doing that extra little bit of research, and that will make a massive difference to the saleability of your products. Then the other places to look: Amazon, major place for you to look. If you're selling new products or used products, have a look on Amazon. People list things there. They list used items as well as new in some cases. And then, of course, you've got Gumtree and Google. And when you're looking at these, remember to look on page 1, page 2, and page 3. And that's for Amazon and for Google. Because sometimes you will find a nugget of a keyword or a nugget of a description that somebody else has done for you. So then you can just take it and use it. It's as simple as that. If you're selling mainstream products, so you've got a product that is for sale by the big retailers or the big wholesalers, then the next thing you've got to do there, guys, is you've got to go and check out these retailers and wholesalers. Look at their buying prices. Rather, look at their selling prices, I should say. What are they selling them at? Can you actually compete? You know, you've got the product calculator that you can go in and work out what your profit is. Well, if you haven't seen that, we'll be covering that in one of the forthcoming weeks. Again, we'll be going through that. You have access to that if you're one of the members. That is in the members area for you. So use the profit calculator to see if you can actually make some money. And again, as I've said before, always check all of this out before you commit to buy, and especially before you commit to buy in bulk. Look at who else is selling. If you've got, for argument's sake, in the UK, if you've got Argos selling it and Tesco selling it and they're really beating each other up in price, is it something you want to be in? Having said that, perhaps they only sell it on a seasonal basis, and you can pick up the slack and build the profit in there when it's not a seasonal product, because they will only keep it on the shelves for a certain period of time. So you need to check everything through, and you're going to hear me say this all the time till you're probably fed up with it. But if you're doing it right, and when I have a look at your websites, which is part of this 8-week course, and have a look to see how you're doing, then obviously I'm going to be able to come back to you and say, yeah, you're doing a good job. Or if it's something that you're not doing, I'll be coming back to you and I will tell you exactly how it is. And we will need to make some changes to your sites if that is the case. The other thing you can do, any item that you're purchasing and it's got a barcode on it, put the barcode into Google. Once you do that, you can see where and who has got it anywhere in the world. Just put it in and go through all of the listings. If it comes up with no listing for it, then you're going to be extremely lucky and you're going to be able to take the market. And if that is the case, use my old trick of creating your own unique barcode so that nobody else can get hold of the product from a wholesaler or an importer and actually then just piggyback on your listings or drive your listings and your price through the floor by having the product saleable in a way that's going to create you competition and create problems for you. Especially if you've migrated over to Amazon, that would be a major problem for you. On eBay at the moment, they're not too heavy on barcodes, but it's coming in, and over the next 3 to 4 years, they will probably be as strict on barcodes as Amazon is now. So get ahead of the game and be prepared. The last thing you want to do is like the chap that I was talking to a few weeks ago, who had 600 of his items removed by eBay because he wasn't complying to a policy that they'd given 9 months notice before it came out. So you need to do that, and you need to make sure that you've got that up and running and in the forefront of your mind. Barcode, put it into Google, have a quick check. Barcode scanner cost you 10 quid off eBay, free delivery all day long, so go out and buy yourself one if you haven't got it, and then it saves you having to type the numbers in. If you've got manufacturer's part numbers or a model number of the product that you're going to sell, again, put those details into Google. See what comes up. If they come up in Google, Google will bring up anybody who's selling that product in Amazon or eBay as well. So you can cross-reference and also put those details into Amazon and also into eBay. You will find that they will cross-reference nicely for you. Now, obviously, you're going to be able to access this webinar as a replay. So all of these points that we're going through here, you'll be able to take them, screen grab them, replay it, put it on your wall, put some printed out copies of the slides that we've got here onto the wall, just to give yourself a checklist of things that you can do. And obviously, if you're one of our members, these type of checklists are already in the membership site. If you're not one of the members, then you can drop me an email, or you can go to the membership site and you can select the level of membership that is right for you. So when you're researching on Google, also use terms like price comparison, price finder, best deal, price match. When you put in your keywords for searching for the product to see who is selling the same or similar products, use those terms. You'll be very surprised how many people will, how many price comparison websites will come up with that item on, and it'll come up European-wide in some cases, worldwide. So use that facility. It is a great facility, and it is a great way of analyzing your competition. So yes, you might go and find the nice new shiny brilliant product that's coming out into the marketplace at a trade event. How many other people are looking at it? How many other people are buying it? How many other people see the nice shiny new product? And how many of them are actually using good quality negotiating skills to get the price down? Again, when you're talking about price to these people, is the price reduction based on quantity? Is it based on annualized quantity? How do you get the cheapest price? So you've got to find that out. The last thing you want is a lump of stock sitting there that you cannot sell at a profit, and all you can do is make a loss. You might as well just throw the money on the floor and let somebody sweep it up at the end of the day. So, setting up an auction on Amazon. Now you've done all your research, you know what price you need to be achieving. Now, if you're selling new items in an auction, then use low starting bids. If you're selling a used item in auction, then start at minimum starting bids. Now, the minimum starting bid in the UK is 99 pence. and obviously similar out in the States and different currencies throughout Europe. So use the lowest starting bid. Now the reason that you need to use the lowest starting bid is quite simple. People have a lot of their eBay accounts set up to look at what has just been listed, and they can filter out to find out who has listed items at the lowest starting price. And of course they get excited. So when they get excited and see that you have listed your item at that very low price, they're going to put you on their watch list, and they're going to come back. One or two of them might start bidding early, which is absolutely brilliant for you, because that's exactly what you need. You need them to start coming in and to start the bidding process. So if you believe your item is highly desirable at the very beginning of the listing, and you have made sure you've got the right category, then get it on there at the lowest starting price. Create the need, create the excitement, create the buzz that is going to drive that product forward, so that in the dying moments, don't forget, if you're anything like me, I buy on eBay in the last 4 seconds, and there are lots of people like me that will just do that. They will purchase that item 4 seconds to go. So that is when you're going to get your highest prices, in the dying seconds of an auction. In the last minute, inexperienced eBayers will start putting their bids in at a minute, 30 seconds, 20 seconds. But those of us that are very experienced, we know 4 seconds, depending on your broadband strength, 4 seconds is where you put your bid in. If you're on fiber and you've got really high speed broadband, you're probably down to 2.5 to 3 seconds. And it gets as finite as that. Now, some people have asked me about sniping tools. eBay don't like them, and some of the recent ones that are out there have actually been taken down. It's not a good idea to go and use tools that are against eBay's policy, purely because A, they don't like them, and B, you could end up with losing your account. And if you lose your account on that particular IP address, the chances of you getting a new account back are very, very slim. So play within their rules, play with the game properly when you're selling things on eBay, and never ever ask somebody who is working from the same address as you to bid on that item to try and increase your price. The minute you do that, eBay will see that coming out from the same IP address. They will investigate, and if they believe, as one husband and wife team asked me why their eBay accounts had been closed, if they believe that you have been putting fictitious bids on an item, you are closed down. End of story, and you will not get a new account opened in your name, in your address, and from your IP address. Both accounts would be closed, as simple as that. Now, the person that happened to probably had £5,000 or £6,000 worth of stock that they were holding, and all of a sudden they couldn't sell it anymore because they were acting out of the spirit of using eBay, and they were also acting illegally as far as eBay were concerned. And there is also a legal an opportunity for a legal case to be made, and there have been cases that have gone to the courts in the past where people have been doing this type of thing. So bear in mind, when you're doing that, make sure you do not do the silly things that some people do, and they bid on their own products through their own network. Now then, if your product or your item is a niche product, it may be rare, collectible. It may be that it's something that you're only going to get a few bids because it's very specialist. Then in that case, start your listing price, if you're going to put it in auction, at a little closer to that of your desired selling price. Now, when you're doing this, you obviously need to be very precise on your keyword strategy in your title. Don't forget, as we've already talked about last week and we will talk about again, keywords are the key ingredient to you selling your product. You've got 80 characters in that title bar, and those 80 characters have got to be keyword driven. So again, it's going back to doing your research, and if you do your research and you use all the right keywords and you bring your research forward before you list your item, you're going to make money. If you can't be bothered, then you're just not going to make any money, and you're wasting your time because you're just going to end up being slightly bitter that eBay doesn't make you any money. So rare products, collectible products, niche products, there is an opportunity for you to use the reserve selling price. So as you would in any everyday ordinary auction, you can put a reserve on there. Personally, I would never use that reserve feature, because when somebody actually finds an item and they bid on it, and let's say we bid $20, £20, €20 on an item, and somebody's put a reserve on it of 50, it will straight away tell us reserve not being met, increase your bid. Now, if we're going to be faced with that as a buyer, we are going to switch off and we're going to move away. So never put a reserve on your item unless you really feel you have to. If you're doing that, you're also paying for the privilege of putting the reserve on. So you're going to need to get a higher sale price because of that reserve. So you need to look at that in a lot of detail, in great detail. Personally, I would never use the reserve feature. I have used it once or twice for testing purposes. It's cost me a fortune and it's driven sales away. It's driven the clicks away. People do not want to know when it says reserve not met or that there is a reserve on the item. They just click away and they don't come back. So my watches go down, my views go down. People just do not find the item and it doesn't crawl up the rankings high enough to actually make me any money. So personally, I would never use the reserve feature. Now don't forget, and again, I don't put this down because this is not a favored tactic that eBay like. You're not breaching any policies, but you can remove your item from sale 25 hours before the sale is due. It's actually 24 hours, but I always say 25 so that at least you've got an hour's grace. So if you've got something and you've got no watchers on it, you've got no views, you've got no bids, nobody's looking at it, 25 hours before it is due to end, you can withdraw it. If you do it too many times, then you will probably breach policies and you'll get a slap on the wrist from eBay. But if you do it once or twice when an item hasn't been worded right or you haven't got the market quite right for it, for whatever reason, then you can pull that item off and you can review it and research it and then relist it. So that is something to bear in mind, and that is something that you want to write down and put on your wall 25 hours before the end of the eBay sale. That's quite a good tip. So when do you start your listings? Now that's one that comes to me on a very regular basis. When should I start listing? And the simple answer to that is on a Thursday late evening into the night. And when you do list your products, as you saw from last week's training, you can select the start date and start time for that product to go live. So your listing should start late Thursday afternoon into the evening for a minimum period of 10 days so that your listing will have a good chance of getting the most views. It's getting 2 weekends of views. Sundays are the busiest day and still are the busiest day on eBay. Now, in the UK, the only exception to that is where you've got a bank holiday. So when you're listing a product and there's a bank holiday, then change that Thursday to a Friday so it's ending on a Sunday. Now, Sundays are great if you're selling things, especially used things, and you're selling things where the kids are about. So you get those late afternoon, early evening, where the kids are saying, I found this on eBay, mum, dad, granddad, whatever it may be, I want it, I want it, I want it. There's nothing like a good bit of kids' pressure to actually help drive a sale forward. So make sure you've got the toys, the games, the kids' stuff listed so that they end early evening when the kids are still up, when they're still about, and when they're still looking on their iPads and their laptops as they do now, and there you've got parent pester power, because that is a great way of selling product and a great way of making money online. And I can tell you now it works. I've split tested it, I know that it works. You want your auctions to really end between 6 and 10 p.m. 10 to 11 o'clock, some things will die off, but if you've got some special things, perhaps a little bit more personal gift orientated, or personal items, or specific mail items, or males tend to buy between 10 and 11. They seem to be up longer for some reason, I don't know why, but those are great times to have your products finishing. That is maximum visibility. Obviously, if you list a 10-day listing on a Friday, you're finishing on a Monday. Monday is the second busiest night on eBay, and it doesn't matter which country you're in, it is all the same. Monday is the second busiest night. Now, it may be that you'll have some higher value items ending on a Monday so that you get 2 Sundays worth of views on the listing. As Sunday is such a busy day, sometimes you might want to take an item and finish it on the Monday, but it will have been seen on 2 occasions over the weekend. So you're increasing your audience, you're increasing your views, you're increasing your watchers, and you're increasing your bids. In a little while, I'm going to give you some very good software that you can go and use to do that. And it's a payable service. They do have a free trial, but I'll come across that in a few moments, and you'll be able to get that. And just click on the link and go to it, and obviously trial it, use it, and see what it does. But by using that bit of software, you could actually make a fortune, and it's a brilliant piece of software if you're into the affiliate or drop shipping market, and you can use that nicely. But we'll come on to that in a few minutes. Let's carry on with this. So when choosing the time to end your listings, there are a few other considerations to take into account. Now, I've already given you one: bank holidays. Simple as that. If there's a bank holiday in the Sunday, move that to the Monday, and move your listings that are going to end onto a Monday to end onto a Tuesday. You're still getting 2 weekends, because those listings would then start on a Saturday. So you have got to make sure you forward plan. And that is the worst bit, because eBay will ask you for the start time of your listing, not the end time. So again, as we went through last week very briefly, you need to look at that calendar, and you need to be spot on to your timing for when you want things to end. And if you're doing multiple listings, don't forget to spread that time so you've got 2 or 3 minutes in between, which means that you can have several people looking at the same items, several people looking at similar items, I should say, that you're listing, and they may be bidding on more than one. So as soon as one sale is finished, 2, 3, 4 minutes as a minimum later, you will have another sale finish. So make sure you split them. I see lots of people that don't actually do that, and I find that great, because I might want to buy that one particular item which is part of a set of something else, and I get that at a knockdown price. I buy it off them, get it shipped to me, and then I might sell it on again to somebody else. So what else is there to take into account? Well, that's simple. What's on television? That is the biggest drawback that you can have. So it may be football, sport, rugby, whatever. X Factor final, highly viewed soap operas, could be a major event. If you end your listings during the peak of those shows, guess what? You're going to get less views and you're going to get less interaction from your audience. They may watch it, they may tick it to have a look at it, but if they get absorbed with the final of X Factor or Strictly Come Dancing or the football match or whatever it is, you've lost them because they're absorbed in something else. They will go back and they will think, oh damn, I forgot about that and I didn't put a bid on it. So you've not only got to plan ahead your 10 days from the time point of view, you've got to plan it ahead from what is happening in the world or what is happening on television and make sure that you take that into account. So can you see you've got all this stuff that I'm giving you to do. You've got to research your product before you list it. You've then got to research what's happening when it's going to end, and you've got to make sure your end time is spot on. There's an awful lot for you to do out there, guys, but if you do it right and you want to make money on it, then do it right at the very beginning and make money straight away. So your title, put it together, great care, great attention to detail. You know my view on this, keywords. Look at your listings, look at the listings that come to the top of the searches and do your research. Get those titles keyword rich. The title doesn't have to make common sense. It doesn't have to read like a nice pretty sentence. We're not putting a novel together. What you're doing is putting words in a box, 80 characters, which is the maximum you're allowed to have, and those words have got to drive people to your page so that they buy your product and you can get good money from them. It's as simple as that, but you've got to do it. Remember, success leaves clues. That is one of my my good friend's regular sayings whenever he's at one of his events. Success leaves clues, and it does. Look at the first 3 pages of Google. See who else is selling the product. Go into Amazon. Get the details out of Amazon. Look at titles. Go to those titles, click in, see how they describe them, because there'll be secondary keywords in there that you haven't thought about. What you've got to remember, it's not what you're typing into the keyboard, it is what your potential customer is typing into the keyboard that matters, and only that. So you have got to second guess and use as much intellect and technology as you can to actually get there and move it forward. Now then, there's a tool to help you with this, and I did say to you I would come on and tell you about it. You might want to take a note of that. Terapeak.com. It is a brilliant tool and it does an excellent job. You have a free trial on it, and I have no affiliation to this whatsoever. You have a free trial of it for a short period of time, and then you will have a monthly or annual fee, and your plan will really depend on how much you want to pay. But what I would certainly do is suggest that you go and you at least try it. Now, you might find it a bit technical. If you do find it a bit technical, they do have a great deal of video in their help pages that will guide you through the whole process. But they are an absolutely superb organization, some great people that started this off, and it is a great tool to use.
Are you ready to test drive Terapeak? Let's search a product you're thinking about selling. Log in and hold on to your seat, because Terapeak moves fast. Now enter the product, pick the date range, select the country, and go. In an instant, you have a report showing every single closed or sold listing from eBay. You'll know the average selling price for any product, so you'll know if you can make a profit. The sell-through rate will tell you if people are buying. Now you can decide if you should sell this product or put the brakes on. When When you get your information up front, you'll make decisions about sourcing and investing in inventory with precision and speed. That means less risk and more money in your pocket. You can target new or used, research the top-selling categories, and you'll know what listing types and keywords to use to get the most visits to your listing. Just like that, you know what to buy and how to list it for the most value. The Terapeak dashboard is packed with other features that make it easy to keep your business running smoothly, while you learn the moves of your competitors and blow past them to the winner's circle. Hope you enjoyed the test drive. Now it's time to get started for real.
Welcome to Terapeak. Let's get you logged into your account. First, click your email address. Then enter your password. You may wish to keep yourself signed in on the computer. And then click Login. From here, you can enter a product to research. Simply enter a few keywords. Select the date range you wish to include in your search. And select the country site you wish to research. Click Go to generate your response. Here's your main report page. It includes all the closed and sold listings within the time frame you selected for your report. Scroll down the page to see pieces of the report that will help you with your listing and pricing decisions. Auction sellers pay close attention to time of day and day of week widgets to help find the best times to end your listings for highest profit. All sellers will want to review the general statistics and the listing promotions and listing types to see what the best way is to format your listings. At the very bottom of the page, you'll find a category and keyword widget, helping you find the best categories and keywords to use within your listing. Important metrics to look at when you're looking at buying, pricing, sourcing inventory is the sell-through rate, which is the percent of listings who have ended in sale, the amount of listings, which is the total amount of listings included in your report, the start price, and the average price. These metrics should give you an idea of what to list and for how much. Select the Listing tab to see all the completed listings included in your report. What if you notice that there are different listings included in your research that you don't want to include? For example, new and used items. Click the Filters menu to resort your results by only new products. Here we have a regenerated report, including only new items. And that's how you get started using Terapeak.
So there you go, guys. That is an extremely good piece of equipment for you. So I've put that in there for you now. It is in there as a sticky label, www.terapeak.com. As I said, there is a free trial version, and then you go on to the paid version. And I would seriously suggest that you at least look at it. If you find it complicated, go to one of their videos, have a look at that, and just sit there, get a cup of coffee, cup of tea, glass of wine, whatever it may be, and just follow the process through so that you can actually just get to grips with it. And even if you only use the free version, because you're going to only sell the same products over the next few months, your free version may just make you a ton of money that you didn't realize was available. Now, if you're going to sell things for other third parties, this is the one thing that comes up really high in the marketer's choice. Terapeak is the tool that the majority of drop shippers and the majority of affiliate sellers on eBay actually use. There is also, by the way, an Amazon version. They price them both differently, and you choose the price plan that you want. But there you are. You've seen it. You've had a look. I've used it. It's a fantastic piece of software. I'm sure that there are others out there that compete with them, but I've not found anything that actually gives me the results that Terapeak does. and actually makes me money rather than just spending money on another new gadget. So where do we go now? Be extremely thorough with your description. So as you saw how I loaded descriptions on last week, what you need to do is make sure that you are very, very thorough. Don't use a little one-liner sent from your iPhone that just looks awful and is completely lost. Do your descriptions on a Word document. Make the title big. Make it stand out. Put as much information as possible about the item in that document. When your title stands out, it should stand out for the right reasons. You need to use some exciting words in the description and in the header or the title. Fantastic, fantastic purchase, offer price, bargain, it's the last one, limited availability. Create some scarcity around it. You may have limited availability. You might have 2,000 in stock, but you expect to sell 2,000 of them in 2 months. After that, you might not have any for 6 months. It's limited availability. Just because you've got 2,000 doesn't mean to say that that's not limited. That would only be limited availability if that 2,000 was going to last you 50 years. And if you were sitting on 2,000 products that were going to last you 50 years, and there are some retailers out there that have got that type of number, then you would be very, very silly in having all that stock tied up. So again, it goes back to the very beginning of what we've said at the very beginning. Research your product, research your marketplace, who else is selling it, what is the chance of actually getting it in front of a customer so that that customer can actually get it and take it. Now then, as I said in the description, if it's collectible, use the collectible. If it's designer, if it has got a label on it, use that information. Put it in there. Make it stand out. Then put the photographs that you take into the description as well. What you want to do is make sure every description area in that index, again, if we go back and you replay the video of last week, you'll see all the boxes that you can put listings in. You can put details in. If those boxes are pre-populated and they're not populated with words that you require, manually overwrite them and put in keywords that are relevant. All of those keyword strategies all help to drive your product further up the eBay listing, and when eBay send those out to Google and the other search engines, it also helps those search engines push your product in front of the audience. Now, we've already covered several times about great photography, getting the size right, things like that. I'm not going to go into photography on this in any great detail. We have a great photography day set up where you are going to get the bells and whistles of taking say it right in a minute, Whitfield, taking great photographs for the listings, making sure that you've got them absolutely spot on, how to actually zoom in and take photographs of things that have got marks or damage to make sure that you know. You need to do 360-degree views of your items wherever possible. Now, you can do that in still photographs, and in most free software, photograph software packages, they will have tools that you can actually create your photographs to look at as a 360-degree view. Failing that, go into Google and put in 360-degree view of photographs, and you'll be given a whole host of software that you can use. If you are one of our members, in the membership area, you will actually find the name of a company that we use to actually create 360-degree view photographs from still photography. Other than that, make sure you've got your video going on there, and make sure your video is working properly. Put the pictures and the video in the description. Currently, because they've changed all their policies, you now normally have up to 12 pictures free for every item you list. But put your pictures into the actual description. It's the HTML coding. It's the same way as we do it for video. And if you haven't seen that, that is coming up. Some of you will have already seen that because you will have been on other courses or you will have attended other seminars. So you will have seen exactly how to do that and you'll already know that. If you do not, don't worry about it. It's coming up over the next few weeks and you will be able to learn very quickly how to put great video by using both photographs, still photographs, and using something called Animoto. And that's another quick tip. If you haven't actually looked before, look up Animoto and play about with that software. There is a free version and there is a paid version. I use a paid version because it is more beneficial for me, but to start off, just use the free version. When you're saving your pictures, don't forget the title of your product that you have researched ought to be the title of your picture. So whatever keywords you've got in those pictures, whatever keywords you've got rather in those titles should be the keywords you're using on your pictures, because when your pictures are uploaded, they become part of the search engine criteria. They will look at those. And the same with video. Make sure you're putting that video in there with keywords. Now then, if you're putting video and you're embedding it straight into eBay from something like Camtasia, for argument's sake, or ScreenFlow, then you're missing a trick. You need to be putting your videos up to YouTube, and again, we cover that in great detail, and there'll be lots of hands-on demonstrations of that coming up over the next few weeks. But you need to put your video up into YouTube. You need to create your keywords in the title of the video in YouTube, and then you need to put your eBay product or your eBay shop link into YouTube, and all of a sudden you're driving more traffic to your product. And of course you can always send that video out onto Facebook or Twitter to say, I've got this product for sale on eBay. As long as you ensure you're driving your traffic back to eBay, you are not breaching any policies or rules and regulations, which means you will be absolutely fine. But the biggest tip in here, and the biggest crime that I come across, and it's a crime as far as I'm concerned, is that people do not put the title of the product as being the title of the picture. They save it as JPEG 123456 rather than the actual item title, which is full of keywords. Now then, once you've got your product listed, you've done all your research, you're going into auction, there's an awful lot for you to do, I know, but once you've done all that, and once you get used to doing it, it becomes easy. You need to hold your nerve during the auction period. There's an awful lot of other things that are going to happen. You're going to ask people if you will sell it out of auction and out of eBay. Now, if you agree to do that, you are breaching eBay's policies. That is another reason for you to be closed down by eBay. So do not breach those policies, and do not ever agree in writing through the eBay messaging service to take an item off sale and sell it out of the actual auction that you listed it. If you do that, policy problem, you are going to potentially have your account closed. So a warning. You're going to get people that will come to you and say, and there'll be traders, and I do it, I'm cheeky enough to do it as well, and I'm sure that Nick, who's also on this call, he's cheeky enough to do it. We would send an email to them and we would say, will you take XX for it? We will look at it and think, right, an auction, that's going to make £100, $100, €100, whatever it may be. And we might go in and say, look, I'm prepared to buy it now. Will you take it out of auction? I'll give you 50 for it. And some people are silly enough to do it. Now, there is no policy breach for me asking somebody If they will take it out of auction, the policy breach is with the person that took it out of auction, because what they should do is turn around to me and say no. Every time I list something in auction, I'm pretty much guaranteed somebody will write an email to me to say, what's the best price you'll take for it, mate? And will I take it out of auction? And I've just got a very nice standard reply saying, thank you very much. Unfortunately, not able to take it out of auction because it is part of eBay's policy that once it is listed, it has watches and bids, it becomes an auction item, and I'm not able to sell it outside of that auction, and especially if it's got bids on it. So you're going to get a lot of silly questions. You're going to get people asking you questions that you've already answered in the description. You will have put in this description the height, the length, the width, the weight. They will come back to you and say, how big is it? And you will be very, very tempted to write back and say, have a look at the listing, mate, and read it. Do not do that. Answer their question. It may seem silly to you. You do not know why that person has asked that question. They could be dyslexic. They may not be able to read properly. They may have disabilities. They may have language barriers, so they may not be a UK person or an English person if you're writing in English. They may be French, they may be Italian, they may not be able to read and understand correctly, and they're using language translation tools. So what seems to you to be a really silly question, and for you to write off a really stroppy reply or a sarcastic reply, do not do it. You do not know that other person's circumstances. And we've sold a lot of things to people that can only see the picture. They have no reading capability. So you get questions in. They cannot type the questions properly. They put the letters in as the words sound, and it looks atrocious. What you've got to do is go back to those people and answer it for them. Now, they may not be able to read properly. They've probably got somebody else who will do it for them and will read them the answer. Or they may be using some sort of technology where they copy and paste and they put it into an audio player that actually speaks the answer back to them. So they may have already done that with your description, and they may have just missed it because they've been too busy looking at the pictures or the video that you put in. So you're going to get silly questions, but you do not know the scenario that you're dealing with. You do not know what's on the other end of it. So make sure you answer those questions in the best possible way that you can, and expect to receive a lot of messages. When people are buying in auction, you will get all sorts of things. How quickly can you dispatch it? How quickly do you want it? Is there any chance that I can collect it? Yes, not a problem. Or if it is a problem, then say to them, no, on this occasion, sorry, you cannot. You're going to get lots and lots of messages. Respond to them. If you want to keep your customers hot and bubbling on your product, make sure you respond to them extremely quickly. Do not think, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it the next day, or I'll do it an hour before the auction. They've gone off the boil, they've gone elsewhere, they've clicked away, and they're watching somebody else's product who is more responsive. So make sure you stay responsive. Now, if you do get the same message coming in and it's repeated several times, go back to your description and add that data in. Likewise, if a message comes in and you think, oh, I forgot to list that, put it in the description. Go back in, edit it. It will show the fact that you have edited it, but put that detail in there so that you're covered when somebody purchases it and you don't have any issues with that customer. So, as I said before, always reply, remain professional, and remain courteous. Do not go writing sarcastic emails to your potential customers, because all you're going to do is drive them away from your product. It is that straightforward. Now then, buy it now feature. A lot of people want to know why they should use buy it now, or should they use buy it now and a combination of auctions, which way do they go? Well, when eBay started back in 1995, which isn't that long ago, they started off as an auction site. And what you were doing was bidding for things and auctioning off the stuff in the garage, the stuff in the loft, the stuff in the spare room, the excess stock that you may have. You were just auctioning things off. Since they've been so successful, their business model has turned upside down slightly, and now they have more people selling things on a buy it now basis. But also, if you go out there and you look at Google and Google Shops, and you look at all the big wholesalers and retailers out there that have got a very strong online presence, people are now used to having things delivered instantly. You go onto Amazon, you're a Prime customer on Amazon, you want it delivered next day, guess what, it is there next day. You go to Next, a clothing company in the UK, and you can order up till 10 o'clock at night and have it guaranteed to be delivered next day. Now, people want that availability. They want the advantage and the chance to buy it now. So that is the one reason you need to look at where and how you sell that product into that marketplace. Buyers get the product quicker with less hassle. How true is that? They buy it, you've got the money immediately in PayPal, you can draw it down to your bank, you can take your product to the post office, get it to the courier, whatever method you've put in place, and it's away. So it is a no hassle purchase. Very often you'll get people with impulse buys. So it's an impulsive purchase. You want those sales. And it also gives an impression that you're selling a product that has a value. You're not selling an item in auction because it's damaged, it's defective, it's old, or whatever it is, or that you're just trying to get rid of it. You're actually saying, I'm a proper retailer here. You have got a proper product and you've got a true value in that product if you buy it now. And of course, if you've got more than one item, you've got 10, you've got 100, a couple of thousand, obviously you're going to sell more because you're not waiting for those 10 days to lapse before you sell your item. So on new product or product that you have a large amount of, then put it on as a buy it now and actually sell it and make more money on it. Or of course you can do a bit of split testing. And split testing is a brilliant way of doing things. So you will put an item and sell it on a buy it now listing, and you will sell the same item in an auction listing. Now, you're not going to do this at the same time unless you have 2 eBay accounts. And it's not unusual for people to have more than one eBay account. I've got about 5. So I'm able to put one item on one particular site, put it on another. I can change my keyword strategy. I can test my keywords. I can test my listing style, what I've put in the Word document, in the description, and I can see which one sells for the most money. Now then, the trick is here, you need to be analyzing the data on your dashboard. So you need to be looking to see where the most views have come from, where the most watchers have come from, where the most questions have come from. Has it been the buy it now listing or has it been the auction listing? And which has the quickest sales? If your buy it now listing sells at the rate of 3 or 4 to 1, so 1 in auction, then obviously you need it on as a buy it now. If your auction is selling every 10 days and on buy it now you're not selling any, yes, you need to be auctioning it off. And then of course you can look at your buy it now price and decide where it needs to be. So do some split testing, separate, or if you've got 2 accounts, or you can create 2 accounts, do it on 2 accounts and see how they sell. And that way you will know whether you need to go buy it now or auction. Excuse me. When you are selling as a buy it now, remember in the UK and in most of Europe, you've got something called the distance selling regulations. That means that the customer has the right to return the product in the way it was purchased, in its original packaging, unused, unopened, for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and get a refund. So, if you're going to list items in auction and you do not want to offer refunds, in auction they purchase on the fall of the hammer as if they were buying in an auction house, and it is buyer beware. You can put in there no refunds and no returns accepted, and the buyer has bought it in auction conditions. So that is part of the understanding you need to have when selling on eBay and deciding on buy it now or on auction. Which do you go for, and which do you want? Do you want the standard distance selling regulations to apply to you, or do you want it so that when it is sold you get no returns? Bear in mind, I always work on the basis of 2% return. So if you've got 100 items for sale, 2 are either going to get returned, lost in the post, dropped, damaged, broken, whatever it may be. Obviously, if you're selling breakable items, that 2% may go up to 18%. If it's clothing that you're selling and it's brand new clothing and you've got returns coming back, that could be anything up to 40%. So then you need to make sure your pricing strategy is in place, which we have already gone through on the profit calculator, and we will be going through in a little bit more detail at a future date. So there we are. That is this week's week 2 course. That is me pretty much wrapped up for today. I hope that has given you a lot of help and information. Go and try the Terapeak software. It is very, very useful. If you've got any questions, then obviously you can come through to me. You can come through to me via the website. If you're not a member of our website at the moment, if you haven't taken one of the membership packages, go and look, www.h2so.org, and if you go to the Join Us tab, you will see that we have a number of memberships available at different prices to suit where you are in the business. Now, there's a question coming in. How do I research whether there is a demand for the product and whether it would be profitable? Okay, well, the simple answer to that is have a look how many people are selling it. Have a look using your keyword strategy, how many searches are happening. So we're going to be talking about Market Samurai coming up, and you'll be able to use a product called Market Samurai. Have a look at Amazon. Put the keyword for the product into Amazon and see where it ranks. If it ranks quite, I'm going to say quite low, as in if it's in the top 100,000 products, then it's ranking well, there's a demand for it. You can obviously go to Google and use the Google keyword tool, and you can use that to actually find out some information. This is the one tool that we are going to be talking about, and let me just put it over onto the screen now so that you can see it, and it's called Market Samurai. Okay, I'm going to say no. Let's hope that that doesn't do any problem for me. There we go. So let's have a little bit of a bonus to the end of this here. Let's say I'm going to want to search, let me think of a product, dog bowls, for argument's sake. So dog metal bowl. Okay, so I will put that into the search. We'll create that. I'm going to go for keywords. Now don't worry about the fact that I'm rushing through this. This is part of what we're looking at going forward. So there we go. Dog metal bowl, 3 words. I'm going to generate keywords around that. Now this may take a few seconds, and bearing in mind where I am at the moment in France whilst we're putting this together, the broadband may be different to what we've been used to, because we are in a rural part of the country, which is great. So we'll get that moving forward, and hopefully that will come up quite nicely for us. So this is a live demonstration. And I have another question in there. Yes, I can. A session on purchasing and merchandising strategies. That is actually coming up. We go into massive detail. Now, those that have been on the training courses that I have that I've used that I've been on in the past with people will know that we spend a lot of time looking at how you source stock, where you source stock, what are the purchasing strategies that you need to actually get the correct stock into your system, and you get it at the right price. So all those hints and tips are going to be there for you, and you will be able to pick up with those. And I got another comment coming in there. Yeah, Terapeak looks great. And they also thought the video was good. I did actually prepare it for you earlier. I do put some work into this. As much as you may think it's not pre-planned, I do put an awful lot of work into these workshops and these videos, and I need your feedback as well, so that's great. Thank you.
Advanced virus database updated.
Oh, well, there we are. We know that my antivirus is working, but unfortunately Market Samurai doesn't want to play ball. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come out of that, and no, it's not going to play ball on us on that one. So let me come out. I'll close that down for you, and I'm going to reopen it, and I'm going to look at one of the old ones that we have done. So bear with me while I do this. As you know, these webinars are live. We will sometimes get some issues, but at least you know you're getting good quality content here, which is real and to your needs. Oh, I shouldn't have uploaded that, should I? So I'm downloading the upgrade. Please wait, 12%. Let's cancel that out. Okay, let's go into this one here. That is quite an interesting one. This was some people that came to spend some time with us, and they wanted to know about silicone travel tubes. So we put that in, and you can see here, this is daily searches, and we put in the keywords silicone travel tubes. So the daily searches for that is BPA free, the highest, at 730. Now, there's a demand for BPA free, so we know that's fine. Out of that 730, approximately 307 would be likely to click through to an actual product, which could be a purchase. Now, Market Samurai is a paid system. I think it's a couple $100. You pay it once and you don't have to pay it again. But you can do very similar things with Google, Google AdWords, Google Keywords, and use their planning tool, which is brilliant for this, and that of course is free. But if you want to go and get the best results, Market Samurai for your keywords, or of course have a look at Terapeak, because you are going to get some keywords from Terapeak as well, and it's going to, Terapeak, don't forget, is going to give you what is selling, what is hot at the moment, so you can look at specific areas. So again, affiliate marketers, drop shippers, Terapeak is brilliant, and especially where you're looking at seasonality. So again here, glass jars came up high on that, 595 a day. 250 searches potentially liable to go through and make a purchase. So it's all done, this type of thing is all put together with very, very clever technology. And you're able to pull that information out very, very easily. But you need to know where these things are. Now, for all of you that are here and going through this, you have got 100% more knowledge than 90% of the people who are presently trading on eBay. So you need to watch these things back. You need to go through them. You need the replay. Take some screen grabs of some of the slides that you've seen today. Go on to Terapeak. Go and have a look at Market Samurai. Again, they offer a, I think it's a 30-day free trial. So you can go on there, you can download it. If you know what products you're going to sell and you're going to sell them consistently over a period of time, then absolutely fantastic. You will be able to do all of that work within the 30 days, probably within 3 or 4 days, have all the keywords you could ever want to use, and then just cancel the account and go back to them in a few months' time and see if you're able to get another trial when you need to review things. But for me, Market Samurai has been one of the keys to my success of selling products online. So there we are. There's a little bonus for you, Market Samurai, to go alongside Terapeak. You get the idea. You can see where the search numbers are. So if you've got anything else you need, if you send it through in the next few minutes, that's great. Other than that, I will see you on week 3 next week. Same time, same place, as it were, and for me it will be the same place. I will still be here in France. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Thank you for your comments. Adam, that is great. Thank you. I will take that on board. He's going to be doing a little bit of extra work, he says, at getting some things done. So good to speak to you all. Have a good evening. And if you do want to send me an email, then you know the address, andrew@h2so.org. If you want to go to our membership site and have a look at the different membership levels, it's www.h2so.org, and then click on the Join Us tab. Thank you very much, and I will speak to you and look forward to the next one.